You guys ready?
We are grateful gods. We are grateful gods. We are grateful gods. We are grateful. We are grateful gods. We are grateful gods. We are grateful gods. We are grateful. We are grateful gods. We are grateful gods. We are grateful gods. We are grateful.
All right, definitely welcome to the show.
Welcome.
So, Grateful Guys, that was what do they call that in the biz when a show title gets switched up? It's like a rare title.
Very special episode.
This is a very special episode. I'm glad you brought it up. It's our 10th anniversary episode.
Episode 10 of the season.
Number 10, that's one for celebration.
Record books.
Yeah. I'm really glad you guys are here. I mean, we pushed Thursday's episode back, but it's Sunday.
Sometimes it's good to wait a whole week before we do another one.
Yeah, I needed some time.
So like I was saying, Sunday, it's our Sunday. Bart and Kurt's Sunday.
Yeah, America's Sunday.
Right. I mean, did you guys have a good weekend?
Went to a lot of birthday parties.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I worked. For America's weekend, I worked, but it was good.
You worked?
I worked. It's Wednesday.
We all gotta work.
Gotta make that money.
I watched
Or you
Jurassic...
could pray to God for money. That's what your mom does, right?
I watched Jurassic Park last night. Have you guys seen that movie before?
I've seen Jurassic Park.
What do you think about it, Kent?
I love it.
Okay, I watched Jaws,
Okay.
and the second half of Jaws, indisputably amazing. The first half of Jaws sucks, and I decided that Jurassic Park is just the first half of Jaws times 2.
I mean, I don't understand your logic there.
My logic...
What's your problem with the first half of Jaws?
Just a lot of stupid characters saying cliched stuff.
How many dinosaurs are?
There's some sharks.
Yeah.
Or at least one.
Just saying.
When I was 8 years old, my mother took me to see Jurassic Park in the theater, and she didn't know what she was signing up for. Because it scared her.
And as an 8-year-old, were you scared yourself?
I was. I was prepared for the movie. I had the junior book accompaniment, the junior novelization of the film. I had an official magazine fan book, so I was very prepared for the film. But I didn't know how scary it would be. I had nightmares about dinosaurs. We talked about this last week pre-show. I had nightmares about dinosaurs walking across my school.
Like stepping over your school?
No. My point, Ken, is that this movie, I grew up with this movie.
I did too. It's one of my favorite movie memories with my dad. My dad took me, my cousin, and my brother. I was 10.
Mm-hmm.
No nightmares. That's the difference between 8 and 10.
Mm-hmm. Bart, did you see it in the theater?
I saw it in the theater. I didn't like it.
Now, throughout my life, I've had multiple theories about it, and I used to think certain things about how maybe it was that doctors hated children. That was a constant theme in Jurassic Park. You both have heard me talk about this before. Personally, one of my favorite characters, probably my first favorite character would be Dr. Alan Grant.
Right.
Second favorite character would be... right now, you guys want to know, as an adult, what my second favorite character is?
The T-Rex?
Incorrect.
Who?
The lawyer.
Incorrect. Ian Malcolm.
As a kid, who was your second favorite character?
Dr. Hammond. The head guy, the big guy.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, he was so nice to his grandkids.
Was Samuel Jackson in that movie?
Yeah,
he was.
Hold on to your butts.
Very convincing performance.
He got 8, right? Didn't he?
I mean, you don't.
Well, they all got 8, right?
Yeah, I think he did. I mean, I think his arm.
You see his arm come off. You see just his arm.
Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert.
Who gets eaten in the shitter? Somebody's in the shitter gets eaten.
The lawyer.
The lawyer. He's my favorite character.
He's your second favorite character?
Second favorite character.
We're all getting older. That's my point. You know, we all have to. We see movies when we're young, and then we grow up with them, and we're changing. We're constantly changing. We're constantly on the shitter, going through shit. You know, we gotta work. You know? Ken, how much money do you make?
Enough.
Bart?
Not enough.
But we all gotta go to work.
Yeah. Every day.
Every day. Except for the days off.
Except for 2 days.
I mean,
I don't have a weekend. Kent's always talking about his weekend. I don't have a weekend.
Well, you're a business owner.
Yeah.
You got an accountant out in Gardner, across from Hannaford.
It's true, but I haven't heard shit from him yet this year. I don't know if I'm getting money back, if I have to pay money. I don't know what's going on.
Tax day was like a month ago.
I know, I got an extension.
he's,
I mean, I
he's
could
a
go
big-
into that, but who wants to hear about money stuff? Nobody.
That's my next.
Except for
topic.
Kurt, because
My
he
ne-
keeps bringing it up.
I mean, I was raised to think it was rude to ask people how much money they make.
Well, that's probably why Kurt asked you.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about money tonight. We all gotta make it.
Mm-hmm.
Ken, how much?
You need the skills to pay the bills.
You gotta pay to play.
If mama ain't happy, nobody's happy.
I prepared a few clips from the internet. This first clip is from the comic book artist and writer Harvey Pekar
Yeah.
when he was on Letterman. I just want you guys to hear what Harvey Pekar has to say about money.
Thank you. But it seems to me, Harvey, that you have a very successful career here. This is being published by a major publishing company, Doubleday.
That's right.
And why do you maintain the day job?
To make a living. I don't make a living as a writer.
Yeah.
I've been writing for many years, David. Maybe more years than you've been alive. You know, and yeah, I know. I'm no showbiz phony. I'm telling the truth. Well, I mean, you know, like
You could make a living as a writer.
What do you mean? How do you know all that stuff? I can't. Man, I've been writing since I was 19 years old, man. I'm now 47 for nationally, you know. What?
You have the magazine.
I can't make a living
Okay.
at it.
All right, you can't make a living.
I can't make a living at it. I can't make a living as a writer.
But see, I think maybe, and this is only me conjecturing here, that what you're unwilling to get, you don't want to lose the daily activity and the daily contact with ordinary
yes,
people.
that's right.
So it's not so much
Where'd
the
you
money.
Find that out?
It's not so much
Must have been somebody briefed you on me.
It's not so.
Some of your writers.
It's not so much that you can't get by without the day job.
Right.
You like the contact with the
I
everyday
can't get
people.
by without the day job.
Okay.
That's the God's truth. I can't. A lot of people I write for, I get nothing for. You know what I mean? When I'm trying, you know, I'm focusing on everyday life,
Right.
you know, rather than the highs and lows of people's, you know, like lives and.
Sure.
It's, you know, yeah, sure. Yeah, or to the,
Relax.
All right, don't worry about
I know.
it.
I'm not worried about it. You don't worry
I'm
about
not
it.
worried about it either.
I'm
got
trying.
a job.
I'm trying.
you know.
I know you've got a job. I've got a job. We're
All
both
right.
very lucky. We
Okay.
both have jobs.
Well, what's the matter? Look, man.
We got to go. Now, just Harvey. I like you. I'm on your side.
Harvey Pekar's dead, right?
I didn't look it up.
Well, because it's, I mean, he may be dead, he may not be dead, but it sure seems like he's a guest on our show tonight.
Sounded like an old lady.
You didn't like what he had to say?
No, he just sounded like an old lady to me.
That was a point in his life when he had stressed his vocal cords. He kind of talked like that for a while. I did look that up because I thought the same thing. My point is, though, you know, you're always told, do what you love. That's something we hear a lot. Am I right, Bart?
Yeah, my father always said that he who works at doing what he loves never works a day in his life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. I've yet to figure out what that means. I mean, I'm trying to use work as a distraction, say, for the things in my life that I don't want to think about. I mean, that's the power of focus. Am I right, girls?
Yeah.
You know? And I think
I mean, whenever tragedy strikes, I always like to just get back to work and put my mind on something else.
right.
Yeah,
That's the power of focus.
right.
But then sometimes you're working, and then all you think about is your problem.
Just got to work harder.
Faster,
Yeah.
stronger.
Or you take it down to micro. Like, what are you doing? If I'm mixing concrete at work, and I can't stop my brain from spinning out. I really pay attention to the concrete. I really mix it, make sure it's mixing well. Which brings me to my next point. Do it yourself does not mean go at it alone, which is on the back of a concrete bag. The last step. Remember, do it yourself does not mean go at it alone.
I think that's kind of a mantra for the Grateful Guys, isn't it?
It absolutely could be. I mean, speaking of, mantras, Bart, you and I had a conversation about potentially doing like a Grateful Guys code, like something that we could sort of rule the episodes by.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I decided I might do a little bit of preparation and maybe write some stuff out, but I thought maybe it would be better for our listeners if we just sort of worked on the code together. Because I think it's important to keep that pyramid construction mindset, that triangle,
Can I make the first rule?
Absolutely. Let me just...
Was this like a meeting I wasn't invited to?
No,
This is a conversation we had.
It's just a conversation we had.
We're talking on the phone. Right?
So what's your first rule, Bart?
No butt stuff.
We gotta write... Can you write this down?
You got a pen and paper?
So all I have to do is say it, and then that's a rule.
Well, let's discuss. No butt stuff? I mean, that's a big part of my
the butt
life.
stuff. There's too much butt stuff. Actually, I have to say, last couple episodes, not a whole lot of butt stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I've been unconsciously willing that to happen, or maybe it's just we've used up that topic.
I mean, if you think you have that sort of power over us subconsciously, I think, it organically moved on from butt stuff.
Yeah, no, I think it's a harsh... I think if I was... I mean, why don't we put it in... I mean, why don't we just take a vote? All in favor of no butt stuff for the first episode code rule, raise your hand. Kent, you raised your hand. That was a shocker. I thought for sure it was just going to be Bart.
I don't need butt stuff.
Okay, so all in favor of not accepting the new rule, raise your hand. Bart, you voted against yourself?
Yeah.
He's back in.
Hate that first rule.
So the first rule is definitely not no butt stuff.
I haven't even...
I mean, it makes me wonder, is it like an ethical thing? Is it a matter of ethics? That
It makes me uncomfortable.
It makes you uncomfortable?
Then why didn't...
Because this is Grateful Guys, and I think part of our code should be that we go places that make us uncomfortable.
So probably episode code, no code.
The first code is no code.
Write that down, Kent. I think that wraps it up for now. What did you write down, Kent?
Episode code, :1, close parenthesis. There is no code, period.
We'll work on that one.
Yeah, let's come back to that.
It's hard to move forward from there.
I wrote it in pen.
I don't want to circle back on myself here, but we can come back to it.
Yeah.
Why don't we throw that one in the blender, and later in the episode we'll check the blender.
That sounds like a great idea. And while maybe you and you and you and you and you think about that, let's listen to what Ian Malcolm has to say about ethics from a movie called Jurassic Park.
Gee, the lack of humility before nature that's being displayed here staggers me. If I may, I'll tell you the problem with the scientific power that you're using here. It didn't require any discipline to attain it. You know, you read what others had done. You took the next step. You didn't earn the knowledge for yourselves. So you don't take any responsibility for it. And you stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could. And before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox. And now you're selling it. You want to sell it. Well,
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Yeah, he's talking about money,
And ethics.
right?
Business ethics.
I mean, I think it raises a really good point about money. You know, we're here making a living. And are we doing ethically? Are we doing that?
Depends on the person.
Mm-hmm.
Just like what we talked about 2 weeks ago.
I mean, if we were in communist Russia, then that wouldn't even be a question, right?
What do you mean?
Go ahead.
I mean, the ethics of making money, it's pretty moot when everybody's working for a common good.
So that, you know, in Russia, like,
They're like building a robot together or something? Like they're all working on the same job?
Yeah, so to speak.
I mean, where does that affect my tax dollars in that situation?
Your tax dollars all go right back to you. So you're paying the taxes, but then you get the entire chunk back every time.
So, you know, would Jurassic Park, the attraction,
Wouldn't work in Russia.
wouldn't have worked in Russia?
Well, everybody would be allowed in without having to pay admission.
There's
No money to be made.
in Jurassic Park.
Not in Russia.
But then it would be purely a scientific experiment, right? So in fact, it's more ethical to open a Jurassic Park in communist Russia.
Well, I mean, I never thought about the possibilities of Dr. Alan Grant being in Russia because of an ethical, you know, like are you saying like it's more of a fringe friendly science kind of an area?
Yeah, I mean, I think in Russia you're not allowed to hate kids,
Okay.
and Dr. Alan Grant, he hates kids.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at first.
Right, in the beginning. That goes along with, you know, sort of my older theory.
And there's a lot of singing that goes on too. Go ahead with your point.
I mean, he likes kids in the end. Kent's right. You know, and that's
Those two kids at least.
and that's not about the money, because it costs money to raise kids.
But
I
the
mean,
whole reason he went there was for money.
it's true. It's true. He got paid off. You know, it's crazy what people will do. What people will do to try and become famous. What people will do to protect their character. You know, over money. You know, so I want you guys to think about that while we listen to Jeff Goldblum tell a funny story about being in Jurassic Park.
I remember an actor once, you know, that's what you do. I shouldn't tell this. Oh, why not? You know, anyway. There was in Jurassic Park, the first Jurassic Park, you know, actors want to protect their, that's what you do. It's not bad, after having told this story on myself, it's not bad. You know, the first Jurassic Park, I'm flying to Hawaii as we're about to go to location, you know, for the first Jurassic Park, and the actor who plays the lawyer, if you remember it, who gets eaten and dies. There was in Jurassic Park, I meet for the first time at the airport because we're sharing a plane to Hawaii. You know, the first Jurassic Park, and he says, as he first, in our first conversation, "Oh, Jeff, hi, da 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 da." Anyway, he's a lovely guy and a wonderful actor, and oh, we're playing. Yes, this is going to be fun. And can you imagine? This is great. Nice to meet you. Hey, I wonder if I should bring it up now. He says, but I have an idea that I'm, really going to talk to Steven Spielberg about and kind of lobby for. I think for the good of the movie. There was in Jurassic Park, the first Jurassic Park, and he says. Anyway, and he says, it's better if my character lives, and he says, and your character dies. What do you think? And I'm like, I don't know. Isn't that funny? That's what you do. And it's not just vanity or stinginess and trying to get your most screen time. You get emotionally involved in the character. You are the character. Who wants to die? Who wants to, anyway.
He brings up some good points. Are you guys emotionally invested in your work?
No.
I mean, I'd hate it if they killed me off at my job. I'd hate it.
That was my follow-up question.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to die?
No.
I mean, I don't want to die, but it doesn't really have anything to do with not being attached to my job. I just really don't want to die.
I mean, aren't you worried about, all the potential money that you're not making when you're dead?
Yeah. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's difficult. Sure.
Gene Simmons was quoted as saying, "You got to learn how to make money when you're not making money." What did he say? You got to learn how to make money when you're not making money. Am I right, girls?
Gene Simmons said that?
Make your money make money for you.
Is that what he said?
I don't know. Sounds good though.
He was in that movie with Tom Selleck. You remember that one?
Runaway.
Good movie. Kirstie Alley.
She was in that?
She was in that movie, right?
Who did it? Do you know? Yeah.
Robot spiders.
Yeah.
Robot spiders.
Yeah. It's probably a realistic future. It's about kind of a house that you
drones, right?
Well, yeah, Roombas, those little vacuum cleaners.
And then Gene Simmons was like, "You just got droned."
Take out the papers and the trash, or you don't get no spending cash. If you don't scrub that kitchen floor, you ain't gonna rock and roll no more.
I mean, that was like a really solid Gene Simmons impression.
Yeah, well, the viewers at home couldn't see me licking my own eyeballs while I was doing that impression.
Ken,
I didn't see it either.
What have you been, Ken?
Yeah, but
What's going on over there?
You gave him this notebook, and all he's doing is drawing,
doodling. I'm back in school, guys.
Yeah, look, he's writing Jurassic Park all over that notebook. Seriously,
This isn't a class. This is like a support group. I mean, you got to be active.
I thought we could use this as the photo for the.
By definition, preparation does not mean.
But look,
I'm appalled.
I did it in bubble letters.
I think that's definitely going to be the picture for the episode.
Thanks.
Yeah, to get some use out of you tonight.
Sorry, I'm in, guys. How much time we got left?
Enough.
Half in.
Half in.
Half
out. That's Ken's style.
I mean, you said you just kind of right off the bat, you said you're not emotionally invested in your job. I mean, what do you mean by that?
I mean, I go to work every day wanting to go do a good job, wanting to do good.
Mm-hmm.
Put my best foot forward.
I mean, do you feel grateful for your job?
Yeah. Well, what did the first thing I said was?
No. You just said no.
What was the question?
Yeah, are you emotionally attached to your job?
Oh yeah. No, like I'm grateful for my job. I enjoy my job at times, but I'm not emotionally invested.
And the second question was, do you want to die? And you said no. Ken, what do you mean by that?
It's a yes or no question.
Oh no.
Thank you. I mean, you know, I'm glad you're doing art. I'm glad you're being creative. I'm thinking about painting some more. You know what my first painting's gonna be?
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Dr. Alan Grant. Because I don't think I could do his eyes too. He wears those cool
Sunglasses.
aviators, yeah, and a big hat.
Aviators.
I'm not good at hair or eyes, so I could just kind of focus on his lips.
And you're not good at hands either, so just do a portrait.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Jeff Goldblum would be cool to hang out with?
I want to say yes, but my gut says no.
I gotta tell you guys, I watched a lot, like at least a few I watched about an hour worth of Jeff Goldblum interviews. I had some great some stuff worked out from '89 when he was on Letterman, and he tells this wonderful story about where he gets robbed at gunpoint. It was thrilling, but I didn't want to take that away. I didn't want to take it away from the show. But who he reminded me of? Paul Cipriani. Think about that.
Yeah. Except Paul Cipriani, everything is outward for that guy. There's no me for Paul Cipriani. It's all the forces at work upon him from outside working upon him. There is no Paul saying Paul wants this. Paul is going to go do that. And Jeff Goldblum, it's all like Jeff Goldblum want this, Jeff Goldblum want that, Jeff Goldblum gonna go do this now.
That's fair. You know, fair is fair. I think that's, you know, enough is enough. I mean, have you ever seen him interviewed?
I believe I have, yeah.
And that's the impression that you got?
Yeah.
Ken, what are you doing?
He's chewing on his Japanese candies now.
Eating some candy.
Man, talk about lack of focus. Where is Kent today?
I'm sorry, guys.
I mean, what's going on, Ken? Do you need to talk?
No, I'm just listening, really. I just wanted to receive today. Just like Paul Cipriani. There's no me here.
Yeah, well, this is Grateful Guys, not Grateful 2 guys and one other guy who just sits there and doesn't do shit.
I can't be grateful just to hang out with you guys.
Okay. Ken, you have your pad of paper?
Yeah.
I need you to write down another potential code.
So by writing another item in our list of items, we're sort of having to cross out the first item.
Well, I did write that we will circle back.
So basically, we've checked the blender, and that it just turned it was too pulpy.
I mean, I say keep it. I like it. It's tricky. It's like when people go to read it, they may get stuck in a loop right there, and not even really go past what's real.
Right. So you got to dig deeper.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your
Bart? I believe you said this is Grateful Guys. This isn't. What was it? Two guys.
Mm-hmm.
Two guys. Doing.
Two guys and a shithead.
Two guys. This is okay, Kent. This is what you're writing down on the episode code. This is Grateful Guys. This isn't two guys and a shithead. And that's rule number 2.
I think that's a good rule.
I mean,
all in favor, say aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay.
One abstention.
I'm abstaining. Because the joke's on you. Who knows who the shithead is here?
That's why it's a great rule.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it pretty much always rules me out, but we're not necessarily saying that you're always the shithead, Ken.
We may have come to this conclusion tonight because you're being a shithead and not participating in the podcast. But that doesn't mean that it's always going to be you.
I'm okay with that rule. I'll try not to be a shithead. It's just like, I don't know. What are we even talking about here?
We're talking about ethics. We're talking about money. We're talking about meaning in life. We're talking about whether we want to die or not. Those are 4 really important things.
Okay. I mean, who says yes to that question?
I don't know.
But which one?
Exactly. I mean, if you're just if you're just here to listen, how do you know?
Well, how much money do you make, Kurt?
What did you say? Enough?
Yeah.
Enough.
Do you like your job?
I do.
Are you emotionally invested?
I am.
How so?
I sometimes, when my brain's spinning out, I think about the concrete.
If you go into work one day and say, I'm going to do a really good job today, do you think people notice? If you do a better job than you
No.
usually do?
No.
So
No, the one
what's the
thing-
point of doing a good job?
For myself, guys.
Yeah.
For myself, guys.
Fair enough.
Make that the 3rd rule, please. For myself, guys.
Yeah, fair enough, Jeff Goldblum.
It's all about me.
Ken, I just want you to. I want you to feel good. That's the whole point of doing the podcast. You just seem like
I
you're
feel-
bored.
No, I feel great. I'm not bored at all. I got some great doodles here. I got a dude that's... His pants are falling down, guys.
Oh, there's definitely some butt crack there.
Oh man.
I thought he was drawing dicks, but it turns out it was a butt crack.
It started out as a vagina.
I've always thought you remain a mystery, Kent. You just see. You know what? I take it all back, Bart.
What?
I'm glad that we established the shithead rule.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't take it personally, Kent, because what you have going on over there was worth it. You expressed yourself. I haven't seen you draw in years. I haven't seen anybody draw a picture of you while you're sleeping, and I haven't seen you draw a picture.
No, yeah, no, I'm not real artistic.
That was supposed to be a segue into you telling that story about that kid drawing you. Ken, tell me if anybody's ever drawn you.
Oh yeah, twice in my life. This one time in like middle school, I stayed the night at this kid John's house, and then I woke up in the morning, and I guess I can't remember if I fell asleep before him or I slept longer than him, but at one point he just drew a picture of me while I was sleeping, and then showed it to me. I don't know which was weirder.
Has that ever happened to you again?
Yeah, again, as an adult, I fell asleep on a couch once, and then this friend drew a picture of me.
Mm-hmm.
Less creepy this time.
The picture was less creepy, or the event was less creepy?
The event, I mean, I think, because I was like, I fell asleep probably at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday. I had it coming.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep sitting up on a couch like this, like a dead person.
You totally deserved it.
I deserved it. Sleepy Ken. It's a great picture.
Which story was it you wanted him to tell? The first one or the second one?
Both.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thrilled with what I've gotten out of Kent so far. Honestly, Bart, you've been pretty quiet over there for the last few minutes.
I just wanted to hear Kent's story. I was thinking finally Kent's contributing something, so I was just gonna let him do his thing.
Do you think it's something about how, like, maybe I look really, like, what is it about me sleeping that makes people want to, like, take pictures of me and draw pictures of me and just, like, look at me?
You
Like,
tell me.
Like, sometimes I'll fall asleep here on the couch and Kurt and our friend Tegan are over here. I work early in the morning. I work a different schedule. But you have to work to make money, so, you know, c'est la vie.
Sure.
But, you know, we're hanging out, it's late, I fall asleep on the couch like any normal human being, and then I'll wake up, and I look, and they're both just staring at me, with smiles on their face. How long have they been staring at me?
I've ever heard that expression, sleeping like a baby?
Yeah.
That might be why.
Peaceful little baby.
You do look good when you sleep, Kent.
Yeah, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
You guys like to sleep?
I like to sleep, but I try not to do it that often.
you want to maximize your time out of work awake, because if you feel like you go to work and then come home and eat food and go to sleep and then go to work and come home and eat food and go to sleep and then you come home from work and then you eat food and go to sleep, you start to feel a little crazy. So you need that time where you're not working but you're awake, not sleeping, to feel like you're alive. And because, you know.
Exactly. I think Kent said it best when he said, come home from work, eat some food, go to sleep, get up in the morning, and go back to work, and then come home and eat some food and go to sleep.
Sometimes when I'm working, I can't even think about me going home at the end of the day. Like I'm going home, it's more just like a 12-hour break.
From work.
Mm-hmm.
My first thought when I wake up in the morning is just 9 or 10 hours until I can come back here and go to sleep. But then I never do it.
But you sleep mostly in the afternoon around 3
No,
o'clock.
well, I mean, that's what's like getting up at like 4 in the mornings, like, guys. It's tough. You just don't want to do it.
It is tough. It's tough.
But we got to do it.
We got to do it.
Work is important because we got to get the money.
I mean, there are really two things that we have to do in life, and that's the things we love and the things we don't love.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of them.
And like people are always like, why me? And I don't understand that. I just think to myself, what do you mean by that?
Well, what I think they mean is that why couldn't have happened to somebody else, really?
That's kind of fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like, why do you think that you're so much better than somebody else?
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest problem with this world.
This country, more than anything.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, America is basically saying that America is more important than any other country, and I think that's a reflection of the people that make up this country.
Mm-hmm. I had a conversation with my father recently. I told him we should change the world. We should all love each other and forgive each other all the time. And his response was,
"That's stupid."
Kent, you're right. But he said it in an even more intense way. He said, "Are you telling me when a Muslim cuts your leg off, you're gonna forgive him for that?"
Why is he gonna cut his?
I don't know. I never said that. I never said anything like that. You know what I mean? All I said was people should love each other, forgive each other. Maybe Dad, and I'm not talking to you here, Bart. Maybe the Muslims should forgive and love people too. Maybe they shouldn't be cutting everybody's legs off.
I mean, if everyone followed the golden rule, like you do in kindergarten, bingo bango.
You got to think local and act global.
You got that backwards.
No, it's I think that's like a subcategory of you are what you eat.
Yeah.
To get the money to the whales.
You gotta stay local.
Well, I sort of consider myself a globivore.
How so?
I'll if it comes from somewhere, I'll eat it.
It doesn't matter what time of year.
Right. Exactly.
Because the time of year can sometimes be important with your job. Does it affect you, Ken?
Yes.
Yes. Does it affect you, Bart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say I have a seasonal disorder.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like Mother Nature is working against us and our jobs. You know?
Ooh, yeah.
You just gotta bite the bullet. You gotta grit those teeth. You just gotta push right through it.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I mean, I try and use the focus as clarity. Not to think about things in my life that I don't feel good about.
Now, does focus go along with clarity, or are they like two ends of a spectrum, and you kind of have to find the balance between the two?
You gotta tweak the focus to find the clarity.
You gotta ride the focus. That's how I like to think about it.
I prefer tweak. Because, I mean, when you're riding it, you don't have control over it, but if you're tweaking it, you're controlling the focus. So I guess it's, two sides of the same coin. Some people say grip it and rip it, and some people say go with the flow.
Sure, I mean, you can own a bus, or you can just ride one. I can't afford a bus, personally. I can't afford to own a bus, but I could afford to ride one to work if I had to.
I'd rather ride a bus than tweak a bus.
I'd like to sketch a bus, if you know what I mean.
I think we've come to some good conclusions today, guys. I mean, Jurassic Park was definitely all about people making money.
Yeah.
It's about capitalism.
People get paid off.
At so many different levels.
Right.
The big guy and then the little guy who's, yeah, everyone's just out to make a buck. Except I think Ian Malcolm. I think he was there just to prove his chaos theory.
Yeah.
And pick up some chicks.
Oh yeah. With some, let's be honest, killer moves.
They when they wouldn't close the beaches in Jaws, it was all about making a buck.
Okay.
Was that in the first half of the movie?
First half of the movie, yeah. The part where if you doubled it, it'd be Jurassic Park.
Because the numerical value of JAWS times 2 equals JURASSICPARC. Okay?
Well, no, the first
Okay.
half of Jaws would be Ja. So if you double that, it would be Jaja.
Judge of Jurassic Park.
Right.
Interesting. Well, we're coming to...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Ken.
Let me interrupt.
I just think Bart's wrong. I've been listening to him for too long now.
You talking about his Jaja Jurassic Park thing?
Just his stance on Jurassic Park being a bad movie.
I mean, those special effects, give me a break.
You talking about that animatronic T-Rex head?
Yeah.
Fully articulate?
Yeah.
Dude, still looks good now.
Still looks good now.
Yeah.
20 years later.
Have you ever seen a real life T-Rex? Is that what it looks like? Probably not.
So, I mean, in my nightmares, it seemed pretty close to it.
I mean,
I heard that dinosaurs were all covered in feathers.
Yeah, debatable.
I didn't see any feathers on those dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
Sounds more like you're talking about like a 6-foot tall turkey.
I think.
It's from the movie. Yeah,
Is that
you
from
gotta-
the movie?
Yeah, you gotta be a fan to get that one. Nice.
Thank you.
But, I mean, I don't know, it's a fun movie, Bart. It's fun for kids, it's fun for adults. I've watched it for the past 20 years at multiple ages, because I've been getting older over the past 20 years. Loved it each time, for different reasons. It's like at first, these guys are my favorite characters, and then you get older and you like it for other reasons, and you see different layers to the movie and totally different messages all throughout the movie.
Well, why is it fun for kids? Is it fun to scare the bejesus out of kids? Is that fun?
Why do people watch horror movies?
These kids are going home, crying in their tighty whities.
It's a PG 13 movie. There you go.
He says shit. He does say shit in that. That's a big pile
So
of
it's
shit.
up to that parent whether or not they want to risk their kid having nightmares. And it's like at the end
I mean, it
of the day,
scares me that there are people in the world like Dr. Alan Grant who don't like children.
Well,
But when money was involved, he learned when he was paid, he in the end learned to love children. Once his dig was funded for another further 3 years by my first favorite character, Dr. Hammond. Now, my final thoughts, since we're really wrapping it up quick here, you know, Jurassic Park it's really helped me slow time down. And that's why throughout this episode we've been listening to the Jurassic Park theme slowed down by 1,000 times.
Is that what this is?
Correct.
It's epic, but slower.
It's like kind of like what I think about the first half of Jaws. It's epic, but just a little bit slower than the second half.
That's another argument I have. There's nothing slow about Jurassic Park, dude. It's a thrill ride.
Yeah, thrill ride to capitalism.
So what?
I just want to give a shout out to Steven Spielberg. Grateful for all those movies, guys. Really changed them. I grew up with a lot of those movies, and I'm thankful. I want to give a shout out to George Washington. Kent?
Covered it. You covered everyone, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Except we should. Did we thank Michelle last week?
No.
Okay.
I'd like to give a shout out to George Washington Carver, because they're like peanut butter.
Did he invent that?
Yeah.
Cool.
This has been the 10th anniversary of Grateful Guys. I was very fond of the intro that Spencer recorded. I'm gonna close the show out with that over the Jurassic Park theme.
Okay.
And I want you to say thanks to him.
I will. I'll say thank you.
Any last thoughts?
I like the beginning of it, then it gets weird for me.
Grateful guys, we are grateful guys. We are grateful guys. We are grateful. We are grateful guys. We are grateful guys. We are grateful guys. We are grateful. We are grateful guys. We are grateful guys. We are grateful guys. We are grateful. Welcome to the show.
Gee, the lack of humility before nature.